I'm Melissa.
And I'm Mike.
Welcome back to the A&M podcast. And
The
today,
allergy edition.
yeah, no, I don't know. I feel like I sound weird. I feel like I look awful, but we're here today. Okay,
You're still muscling through, so
rain or
we hope
shine.
we hope all you people appreciate that.
Yeah,
And we
no,
know some of
exactly.
y'all don't, but
It's okay.
that's okay. It's
Sometimes
okay.
it happens. Um, so yeah, I'm here for the lovers, not the haters.
That's
But
right.
yeah, so hopefully I don't have like sneezing fits because I feel like this whole day I have also been like sneezing like crazy. Like not
Yeah.
like a lot, but like sneezing. When I sneeze, it's just loud and crazy, and that's
Yeah.
unlike my sneezes. I usually have a soft, dainty, petite
You have like a little
sneeze.
bird sneeze, like
Yeah, just
"Ka-choo, ka-choo."
yeah. But this
Yeah.
time around, oh my gosh, like I'm just letting them out, okay? And
Yeah. Well, hopefully that doesn't happen on the podcast here, and if it does, I hope you make use of your mute button
yeah, true. So,
and and sanitizer on your microphone.
if I could just like turn my camera off and just sit here with like tissue up my nose, I
Yeah,
would.
yeah.
But I
If
know
this was a
everybody likes,
Zoom meeting, you'd be claiming that your camera wasn't working for some reason. I
yeah,
get it.
like, no, I'm pressing the button. I don't
I don't know. It's
understand.
been goofy all day.
Hold on, let me try it again. Can you see me now? Ah,
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know what's wrong.
yeah. I'll reboot my computer after the
Reboot
call.
out
That'll
there.
probably fix it. Um,
So, yeah, anyways, today, oh my gosh. Today, we are kind of circling back to like a similar topic, I guess, that we have done before, but there's so many of them that I like
yeah,
talking about, and because it's my podcast and your podcast,
that's
we
right.
get to talk about whatever
It's
we
also a
want.
fun topic. It's a fun topic.
It is. So we're talking about common myths that people still believe are true, but like aren't really. So
Yeah.
we're gonna debunk some stuff. We like,
Also, many of
myth-bustering
these,
it.
even after we say they're not really true, I still believe them. So
Oh yeah,
there
exactly.
we are.
So the first one that I have is the myth is that bulls hate red color. But bulls actually react to movement, not the red color itself. The waving cape is what triggers the charge.
Yeah, that's interesting. Always assumed it was. I always assumed if I'm ever around a bull, I shouldn't wear a red shirt. But I guess it's just I can wear the red shirt. I just can't run around in it.
Yeah, okay.
Why does moving things make them so angry though too? Like
Well, no, it triggers me sometimes if I'm in like the
yeah,
wrong mood. So I get
something
it,
moves too fastly in front of your face. You're like, stop it.
Yeah, I kind of get it. But yeah,
Yeah,
that
I
that was
guess.
interesting to me because like I don't know, I feel like we grew up thinking that like bulls hate
Yeah,
red, which is ironic considering the basketball team, the Chicago Bulls basketball team, like its color is red. So
right. That's
maybe they
true.
actually love the color red, and that's why they wave it to attract them. But then
Yeah,
they move it too fast, and that like
yeah.
makes the bull angry. Which
And
again, I understand
they're trying to catch up to it because they really like that red cloth because they want to wear it as a jersey for their basketball team.
for their basketball
That's
team.
what it is. They think that somebody got them a Bulls basketball jersey and they're trying to get over there to get it.
I never understood the whole like bull fighting or chasing or whatever that is,
Yeah.
whatever sport that is. I never
Yeah.
really understood the point of that, but to
Yeah.
each their own.
Yeah.
They might, and
I
I
think
know.
it's kind of a yeah, I don't know. I
I
don't know.
think there's some countries that probably also think football is kind of like
Yeah.
silly. So
I mean, it's definitely a little bit more of a kind of like bull riding, same kind of thing. A little bit more of a sport that you can like literally die in, and that's kind of a
very easily,
you know
nonetheless.
yeah. It's
Like
like I guess you could die in any sport, but it's probably much more likely in bullfighting and or bull riding. So
yeah. So another one, or did you want to chime in, or do you want me to keep going?
I have one here. This one surprised me when I found this one. It says microwaving food zaps away the nutrients because everybody has said like, oh no, you shouldn't cook your food in the microwave. It kills all the nutrients.
Oh yeah.
Heat and cooking time break down nutrients in any cooking method because microwaves cook food quickly and use minimal liquid. They actually preserve more water soluble vitamins like vitamin C and B than boiling or steaming. So it's
Interesting.
actually healthier to microwave.
Huh. I
Yeah.
That's interesting because like if you don't add a little bit of water into it, sometimes the microwave quite literally dries your
Yeah,
stuff
that's
out.
true. That's true. There's also the idea that the radiation from the microwave can like cause problems. And there was an episode of Everybody Loves Raymond back in the day where every time they would turn the microwave on, all the men in the room would turn around and face away from the microwave.
I mean, I guess
So
like microwaves they still say aren't bad just because of the radiation or whatever, but
yeah, yeah,
whatever. So,
you know.
the next one that I have is that um lightning never hits the same place twice. Um so okay, it says lightning often strikes the same tall places repeatedly, especially towers, skyscrapers, trees, and exposed structures.
So here's the thing, and it makes sense, right? But lightning, they say it tries to find the easiest path to ground. So, um, that's why like when they put lightning rods on buildings,
Mm-hmm.
they're like, I believe anyway, that they're designed to like take that, that to the ground basically. So they, of course, it would make sense that something high up like a lightning rod on a building
Yeah,
would get
attract it.
struck more than
Struck.
once with
Yeah.
lightning. So
And
that
same with
completely makes
trees.
sense.
Trees and yeah, exposed
Yeah.
structures. I mean,
That's that's
there's
very interesting.
there's a lot of earth. It would just be really crazy uh
Yeah.
to
Yeah, it seems like it would be statistically impossible. Um I have one, and this is an interesting one to me. Searing meat locks in the juices. We've all heard that, right? You sear it
Oh,
on
I
one
have
side,
heard
then you
that.
sear it on the other, because that way it locks in the juices. Searing steak at high heat creates a delicious outer crust via the Maillard reaction. I don't know what that is. But it doesn't
Hmm.
create a waterproof barrier. Moisture loss in heat is actually driven by internal temperature and not surface searing. So in other words, if you
Oh,
heat it for too long at all, it's gonna dry the
dry it
juices out.
out.
Searing it doesn't prevent that, which kind of
Yeah.
makes sense because those, eventually they just evaporate.
Well, because like I think it's not the searing that holds in the juices.
Right.
It's the you just not cutting it. Like that's why they always say like when you cook like any kind of meat, like steak, chicken, whatever, that you
Right.
should just let it rest so that the juices can, you know, kind of
Incorporate.
absorb
Yeah.
into the meat first.
Yeah. No, I think the thing is when you sear the meat on the outside, you're cooking it for the flavor of that searing. You're not doing it to, I mean, some people do, I guess, think that it prevents it from drying out, but then, you just don't overcook it if you don't want it dried out.
Um that's interesting.
Yeah.
I
So,
love a good seared steak. I love a good crispy crust.
hmm
Um okay, so my next one is the myth is that your tongue has taste zones, which I've heard
Oh,
before. Like
yeah, like
I've
sweet stuff is supposed
uh-huh.
to be on.
Like
Yeah,
you
yeah,
taste sweet stuff in certain areas and spicy and blah blah blah
yeah.
blah blah. So that's wrong. Taste is not divided into neat tongue zones. Taste receptors are spread across the tongue. So
Oh,
it's not like, Oh, once it hits the back right of my tongue, there's that spicy.
Yeah.
As long as I keep it on the left, like I can eat
I'll be
this whole
fine.
bag of hot Cheetos. No, no,
Yeah.
no. It's like, yeah, you have sweet and spicy and whatever all over your
That's
tongue, not
interesting.
not
That's what.
divided into organized little zones.
Yeah, that's one I've heard before, and I always assumed was true, like that, because
Yeah,
I thought I'd heard like uh, the back or the sides of your tongue, or where you taste sweet things, and that.
yeah. I wonder,
That's
like,
interesting.
it's kind of like last time we were talking about this, like, where do us as a society just, it's so funny that it is really one full game of, as I think I said it last time, telephone of one person says something and then we all just are like, that sounds
Yeah,
right. And then we just
yeah,
keep repeating it. And, I think that also comes from, like, for so long we didn't have, now we have technology and AI
yeah,
softwares and everything, like, to really
yeah.
research it. But before, the only real way you had to research it was, like, I don't know, going to the library and, like, looking on Google or
Right.
something.
Asking other people who didn't know anyway and had heard the same thing you'd heard.
Ask Jeeves,
Um, yeah,
he was he
that's
was around
actually
for a while.
I want to do, and this is one of the topics I was thinking of for this week. But one of these weeks, I want to do something where we discuss like phrases, like where certain phrases, like somebody when we were on our way home had used the phrase "don't want to beat a dead horse." Or is it okay
Oh
to beat
yeah.
a live horse? Like, I don't want to get too much into it because that's one of the good ones, but
Yeah, that is funny.
like those kind of things. Like, where did
That
that
is a
come
good
from, and
one.
why do we say that?
Beating a
That kind
dead
of thing.
horse. Yeah, that's kind of
Beating a dead
crazy.
horse. Why? It's okay to
Like,
beat him if
God,
he's alive, but don't beat him
what?
once they're dead. And
Yeah,
I understand what the point of it is, but it's just an
beating
odd
anything
phrase.
while it's dead is
Yeah,
really
yeah,
crazy.
that's true. Why is it
I
just a
mean,
horse?
right. Okay, the next one. Oh wait, did you have another one?
Oh, I do have another one actually. Alcohol burns off completely when cooked. When you're making like certain sauces and that, they'll have you add like wine.
Hmm.
Unless you simmer a dish for several hours, a significant amount of alcohol remains. Cooking a dish for 15 minutes still leaves about 40% of the alcohol behind. Even after an hour, 25% of the alcohol remains. So remember that there next time you're making some rum cake.
Is that really? Cause like they even say like when
The only way I
like vodka
think,
pasta. Does that mean that
yeah,
vodka pasta, the alcohol is still present?
yeah,
I don't
I guess so.
understand.
I think the only way that maybe it burns off completely is when they do like, did you ever see where they light the pan? They'll like literally
Oh,
light the pan that has
for
for
the
like
bananas, banana
bananas
Foster.
Foster. Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll like light the pan. When that goes out, it's clearly burned off a large percentage of the alcohol because that's what's burning. Um, but I guess they're saying if you're just like cooking with, like, again, we had some risotto the other day, and one of the options was to add white wine while you were making the risotto.
Yeah.
And apparently that would not have cooked off.
What?
So would have got a buzz from my risotto.
So does that mean like kids aren't allowed to eat vodka pasta or
I
like banana
mean,
Foster?
I
Like that never usually has like a alcohol warning on it.
yeah, it doesn't. I guess maybe it should. I don't know. I don't know. If the kids are acting up after you give them some bananas Foster or
Right.
some risotto, now you know why.
And it's not the sugar in the banana
It's
Foster.
not the sugar because we already talked about that one last time.
Okay, let's see. Um, okay. Humans only use 10% of their brain. That's the
Some
myth.
some no, I know some who that's very true. And
So,
that also might be a little bit optimistic for some of the people. But go ahead, sorry.
so it says brain scans show many areas stay active across different tasks, including sleep, emotions, and body control. I guess making it like, you know, it's more than just like your knowledge and your active thinking. Like
Right.
your brain is literally working all the time, unless, as we mentioned, it's in a it's under
Yeah, you
anesthesia,
anesthesia, then it just shuts off.
and then it's like, yeah, a lot of parts aren't working.
Then they got
So
to get the jumper cables out to restart it.
I think the brain is like a very interesting like thing. Like it's when
Fascinating, yeah.
last time even in the episode where oh, it was our True Crime Thursday episode where I was talking about like even medicine and the fact of like medicine is so crazy to me because I just don't it's one of those things that I can't comprehend. Maybe I need to use more than 10% of my brain to comprehend it, but like um it's something that's so hard to comprehend to me because like how is this pill that I take that I'm swallowing that's going down into my, stomach, it's reacting somehow with my brain to like turn off the pain receptor.
Right. Right.
It just doesn't make sense to me how it
Yeah.
goes from here to like talking to my brain and
The,
it this little tiny Advil is able to like turn off the pain part of my brain for like a
yeah.
moment. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I always wondered, like, how does it know where? Like, for example, today I was having some like lower back pain on my one side,
Mhm.
and that's what I get for going for a run.
Mhm.
And I, it was really bothering me. I couldn't, sit right. I was like, I'm gonna take some Aleve because Aleve is
Mhm.
like good for that kind of stuff, apparently.
Mhm.
Um, they are not sponsoring the podcast, but they can if they would like to. But so I took that, and my back doesn't hurt now, And I'm always like, but how does it know where the pain is?
It's just because it turns off the pain part of your brain. So like
But does it? Because like if I take Advil, right, and and my back pain feels great right now,
mhm.
and then I go put my hand over a hot burner, like I'm gonna feel that pain of the burn.
I think it's like I don't know because like there have been times that I'll have like stomach pain or whatever, like cramps or something, but I've also had like a headache and I'll take acetaminophen for it and it like kind of cures both of them.
Hmm.
Just because cuz I looked it up before like how does it know where to work? Like how does it
Right.
know that I'm
Right.
feeling pain in my elbow? And it's just like it's just actively like looking. It's That's what I'm saying. It's so
Right.
cool because
Right.
it just actively sees like or can it talks to the brain and can
Yeah.
tell where
It
your
talks to
pain
the
is.
pill to hold on.
The
The
pill talks to
pill
the brain.
talks to the brain. I think this is a warning. This is I feel like we need to put a disclaimer on this episode.
We're not
That
doctors.
is
If you couldn't
that is
tell,
that is not science right there. I
yeah,
don't know
we're
what
not
that
doctors or
is. I don't know what
scientists.
that is, but it's not science.
Yeah, if you couldn't
So the
tell
pill
now,
talks to your brain.
if you couldn't tell by now, don't listen
Yeah.
to anything
Yeah.
that I'm saying, really.
Yeah. We are high
But
on opinion and very low on facts. So take that for
except
what
in
it's
this
worth.
episode with my myths, those are 100%, like 99-ish%
Yeah.
truth, because
Yeah. Yeah.
can't trust the internet either.
Nor should
so
you. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I just think I do think medicine is very cool, but yeah, it
Yeah.
somehow I read before that somehow it like the when it like communicates with the brain that it can tell where you're feeling pain, like where the
Yeah.
brain because in your like that's how you feel. There's people who have this like I don't know if you would call it a dysfunction or like a handicap
Disorder. A
disorder,
disorder.
and it's where they literally don't feel any pain. Like they can take their hand, put it over on a hot stove, and they'll burn their hand
Yeah.
100%, but they won't
Wow.
feel the pain from it. I saw
Yeah.
Dr. Phil one time, like years
Yeah,
ago, but
feel like that's an advantage and a disadvantage, right? Because like,
huge disadvantage.
that you could like somebody could cut your arm off and you wouldn't feel it, which would be an advantage in a way, but yet now they cut your arm off. Like
So you
if
can
you
bleed
if
out
you
and
like pain is there for a reason,
yeah.
it's to warn you of something. If you have a headache, it's
Mhm.
to warn you that maybe you're getting sick or you've got
Mhm.
too much stress or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway,
So my next one is interesting because this was one that I still to this day believe, and I will continue to believe after this episode. But um, adding salt to water, to when you're boiling it, does the myth is that it makes the water boil faster, and it does not. It
Oh, I always
absolutely
thought that
does.
too.
Yeah, yeah, it does nothing to, and I lost my notes on it, so just take my word for it. No, oh, there it is. Yeah, it says adding a couple of pinches of salt to a pot of water barely changes the boiling point or heating time. It takes large, unpalatable amounts of salt to alter the physics of the boiling water noticeably. So what this is telling me
Oh,
is it does. It just isn't. It's not measurable for the amount of salt that most people are adding. Like you'd have to add so much that you wouldn't really care that the water was boiling because you wouldn't be able to use it for anything.
yeah,
So,
I have heard like a lot of people say, um, I always thought salt was to make it like boil faster, but then I also see in a lot of recipes that people will add like the chicken bouillon powder to their
hmm hmm
pasta water, so I kind of started doing that. Or like when I cook potatoes,
that's
like
good.
when I'm
Yeah,
making mashed potatoes, I'll put a little bit of chicken bouillon in there
that's a good idea.
just to like make it like give it extra flavor. Like give
Yeah,
the
yeah.
noodles extra flavor or the rice extra flavor. I do it with rice too or
Well,
potatoes.
and they say to do it. I mean, I've seen chefs who say to add salt to the water for pasta or for potatoes, that
Yeah,
not to make it boil faster, but for exactly that reason, because
like flavor.
yeah, they get better salt flavor through you salting it before you boil or while before the
Then
water
in the
boils
sauce or whatever.
than adding after. Yeah, yeah.
Sense.
So they say some TV chef says it should the water should be like as if you went in the ocean and tasted the water,
Probably
which we've
Emeril
all
Lagasse. That sounds like an Emeril
could
Lagasse
be,
thing.
could be,
Yeah.
could be. No, you know who it might be? Rachel Ray. I think it was Rachel
No, it
Ray.
does sound like Rachel
Yeah,
Ray too. That is giving
yeah,
Rachel Ray.
yeah.
Okay.
So salt your water for taste, not for boiling speed.
Yeah, you gotta stay with the same impatient, unless it makes you feel better, and then by
Yeah.
all means. Okay, my myth is that bats are blind, and they actually are not. They can see, and many also use echolocation to navigate and hunt in darkness, but they can see. So it also says, so the thing is that like seeing, maybe that's where the myth came from. Well, I think two reasons myth came from. One, because they do use echolocation, so because like seeing isn't their main form of like main or only
Right.
form of navigation, people just assume like they can't see at all, but that's not true. And so hold on. It says they make very high frequency sounds and listen for the echoes bouncing back from objects. This gives them extremely detailed information about what's around them. The crazy flying of it all, because like I think that's also why people think that they're blind, because they really do fly a little bit sporadically, I would
Yeah.
say.
Random. Yeah.
And it says the crazy flying is actually very controlled flying, and they sometimes make rapid turns to chase insects.
That makes sense.
Echolocation also lets them detect tiny objects even in darkness. So
Wow.
they're actually flying crazy because they can see, and they're
So
they're avoiding things
yeah,
that we can't.
they're it's not that they're flying crazy, it's that they're super agile. That's what that means.
Their erratic hooking movements are often them tracking and intercepting insects, which um themselves are moving unpredictably. At night, their
True.
flight can look chaotic to us because they're making adjustments much faster than our eyes expect. So actually, the bats said it's not me, it's you.
Yeah, right.
It's our
They still,
eyesight.
you know what though? When I see them outside, they still freak me out. We have the houses on either side of us. We think that there are bats living in their attic. That this house had bats living in the attic at one time, and then it got all sealed up, and we hopefully, knock on wood, don't have that problem anymore. But if
Yeah.
I go out at the right time in the morning, the bats are swarming trying to get back into their attics. And
That's
it
funny.
looks like something from a Halloween movie. And I'll be honest, it freaks me out a little bit.
It says
Only
it
because every now and then one will, come and buzz you a little bit. And you're like, "Eh," and then you realize they're like,
see, that's never happened to me.
they're
Yeah,
like
it's
the
never gotten
size
that
of a
close.
butterfly or something. So they're not that scary.
Oh, that's crazy. That's
Yeah,
adorable,
they're
actually.
tiny. Yeah, they're
It says, interestingly, bats aren't generally flying randomly. A bat chasing a mosquito may be performing a series of incredibly precise corrections based on the echoes coming back to it.
crazy. I want to see that in slow motion now. I need to find a nature video that shows that in slow motion.
Yeah, get yourself lost in that part of the internet tonight.
Yeah,
There you go.
that's
Just
right. That's
watching
what
a slow
be doing.
motion bat.
That's what I'll be doing as soon as we're done here.
That's funny.
So mine have drifted now from food into crime. So this is like the bridge between today and True Crime Thursday.
Yeah, I love that.
And especially with our True Crime Thursday topic this week, spoiler alert, but not really because I'm not going to tell you. You must wait 24 hours to report a missing person. Law enforcement agencies have no mandatory waiting period, which I've always heard that too.
I've always heard that too, yeah.
Yeah. If someone disappears unexpectedly or is in potential danger, a report can and should be filed immediately. So that's not, if you call them and they say you got to wait 24 hours, that, you know what caused that? TV shows. Crime TV shows. Not the true crime ones, but the fake crime ones. Which some of our episodes
I guess it is
are
crime
only
episodes.
partially true.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah, because on those, it's all the time. It's like, I can't find my brother. And they say, well, how long's he been missing? Which, here's the thing to me there, too, though. He's been missing since 5 o'clock. Okay, well, it's only 8 o'clock. I'm sorry, we can't do anything for 24 hours. No, 5 o'clock yesterday. That's all I would do,
That's true.
And then you go, oh, no, I was mistaken.
You're like, no, he usually comes home at this time. I swear he's missing. Okay, mine is a dropped penny from a skyscraper can kill someone. It says a penny falling from a great height isn't likely to reach the speed necessary to be a deadly projectile because air resistance limits its acceleration.
Wow. Though it did say isn't likely.
True.
So
yeah.
They're not saying it
that's
can't
the 99%
happen.
that I was talking about earlier.
Yeah. Like, that's not comforting because I
heard
don't
things
want to
like
be the
that
1%.
before, but yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine
Is there
that.
anecdotal evidence of that happening to someone though? I don't
Probably
know.
like as crazy situation from that show, 100 Ways to Die or 1,000 Ways to Die.
Yeah.
Remember that show?
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, well that's like a one in how many? Like, come on.
Yeah.
That would
That's
be
crazy.
If I die from walking in the city and a penny fell from the top of the skyscraper, fell on my head and killed me, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess like Jesus take the wheel, like
yeah, it was your time then.
It was my time.
Yeah, that did it. Yeah. Also, if it missed you and then went through the concrete, like, halfway to China or whatever, then and I know things, if you go right through, it's not China. That should be one of ours too. If you drill straight through the earth, you get to China. Apparently not true. This is an interesting one. My next one is really interesting, and because this is one that I always assumed, but the myth is that there's no gravity in space. Astronauts on the space station experience near zero gravity because they're in a constant state of free fall around the Earth. In other words, the space station, for example, is moving so fast around the Earth that they're constantly in a state of free fall, which is why they're in that near weightless state. It's like when they take those planes up to do the training, where the way that they do it is they're just moving so fast, Anyway, gravity at that orbit is still about 90% as strong as it is on the ground. So it's not It's not even like, well, it's like 30% grass. It's 90% of what it is on the ground. I never
That's
knew
kind of
that.
crazy.
I learned
Yeah.
something myself today. So but that makes complete sense
Yeah,
when
it
you think
does.
about it that way, you
No, it
know?
does. Yeah. That it's just going so fast. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
They're in air and they're constantly in free fall.
It's like a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Fun. How fun.
It's kind of like those weightless simulators that they do.
Oh, right. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like I'm not losing gravity in there. They're not taking gravity away. It's
Right.
literally moving so fast that my body naturally raises.
Yeah.
That's true. I guess that's true. Okay, so I have two more. The first one is the first of my last two.
Right. Right.
Um, if you touch a baby bird, its mother will abandon it because it smells like humans. We're
Yeah.
always told that, and it says it's usually false. Most birds don't have a strong enough sense of smell for this to work the way the myth suggests. And parents generally don't simply abandon a chick because it was handled.
Wow. Okay.
So,
Ooh.
yeah.
Well, I mean, some humans abandon their children because of how they smell.
That's terrible.
Sorry, that was a terrible, terrible joke, and I feel bad about it already.
Cut it out.
Yeah, that's interesting because that's another one that like they always when you're a kid they say no, don't touch them in the nest because then the mother will just leave them there.
That's just a way for me to because I know you as a 5-year-old are gonna walk up to that and handle the bird and
Squish it.
no, don't touch it.
Yeah.
You might light on fire. Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
just me
Right.
saying things,
No. No. You'll spontaneously combust. Yeah. Yeah. That is another one. Or they might squish it, which that would be horrible as well.
That's funny.
Okay, this is my last one, so you get to close this out then.
Oh.
This one is another interesting one because this is one that I've always believed was true, and I still do. I don't care. But apparently, they say that blood inside your veins is blue until it hits oxygen. You've heard that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Deoxygenated human blood is dark red, never blue. Veins appear blue through the skin due to the way different wavelengths of light penetrate and reflect through tissue. So it looks blue, but it's not. It's not. It's dark red. So it's, I guess, the same color. I guess it becomes more of a bright red.
No,
let me
it's
cut
blue.
myself and see what color it is.
It's definitely it's definitely
That's
blue.
what I'm saying. That's
it's
what I'm
blue.
saying. Look at these veins. Oh no, don't.
Right.
But yeah, it's blue.
I'm looking at one right now and it's blue. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like someone's wrong here, and I don't think it's me.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of I have heard that. I heard that one recently. And, that's just one of them that I choose not to believe, and that's okay. So, my last one, if I knew that we were ending on this, I would have chose a better one to end on. It is what it is. So hair and fingernails keep growing after death. We've all heard that. I believe that one as well.
Yeah.
It says they don't. The skin around them dries and retracts, which can make them look longer. But they don't actually keep growing.
I don't believe that because I've watched The Walking Dead, and those zombies, they all have long hair. That doesn't make sense.
Have you seen that one? I forget what show I was watching recently, and it was like, obviously it's like a non-fictional show, like it's just fake, but it was
that would
fictional.
That would be a fictional show.
Yeah, fictional. I always miss those out. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
okay. Listen,
okay.
I'm sick.
That's why I'm here.
So it was like a fake show anyways, and there was like one fact on it that I remember. It was like, no, that's wrong. I called it out like, that can't even happen. Like the sky doesn't even turn that color or whatever.
Yeah.
And Adrian was saying how he was watching, what's that one guy? That one, like, he's always on the Joe Rogan podcast. It's that super smart
Oh,
guy with the mustache.
yeah, I know who you're
Not
talking about. Like,
Neil. Is it something Neil?
I
He's like a
can't think of his name.
scientist, super smart,
Yeah,
and he was saying how like he was on an episode like one time, and it was like a clip that he saw, and he was like, he's one of those people that's like so smart that he started talking about Star Wars and how even though like Star Wars as a show is so fake and there's all the like so many fake aspects of it, he was
yeah,
like, well, I was watching Star Wars recently and like something about like the planets and the space and like how the
yeah,
different like
yeah,
solar systems were in there. He's like, yeah, and that was wrong. I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah,
you're watching a fictional show. Like, hey,
yeah,
that's not the only thing that was off in that
yeah.
movie. Like,
No, you know what amazes me that I've seen a lot of recently though is people trying to take stuff like Star Wars tech. Like there are people trying to build real world like lightsabers, and what they come up with
oh,
isn't really a lightsaber, but they come
yeah,
up with something that's pretty darn close based on like a plasma torch or something like that. So it
yeah,
is funny seeing that kind of stuff where people are like trying to create the fake tech from those,
yeah.
or the other one is I keep seeing things now of guys trying to make real world Spider-Man web shooters. So that's fun.
Which
Not all that useful,
that's
you
not
know?
even useful. Yeah,
Unless you're a superhero, it's really not all that useful. Like even if
yeah,
I could swing on spider webs from buildings, I don't think I'd want to do that cuz
yeah.
unless
No,
you
I
got the
wouldn't.
superpowers to back it up, it's just not going to work.
Yeah, right. Now I'm just flying
So,
around the city, causing too much attention my way. Like
yeah.
now they're
It would be a
expecting me
way
to
to
do more. Like
yeah, right. Right. Like I'm
nope,
just doing this to beat traffic. I
just
don't
trying to get through. Yeah, I'm just late.
yeah.
I'm just late.
I'm I'm not in a leotard here. I'm wearing a suit. What are you talking about?
And I'm definitely not doing it as smooth. Like, I'm
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
it's gonna look
Yeah,
a
there
lot more chaotic.
yeah. There would be a lot of screaming.
That's funny.
So,
Yeah, like causing even more of a commotion.
but now
Um,
we've drifted into more Marvel Monday territory, so
yeah,
we gotta stop that right
that's
now.
not my, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
All right, guys. Well, thanks for checking this one out. I hope you learned something, or if you didn't learn something, I hope you'll tell us how wonderful this episode was anyway.
yeah, thank you. Anyways, toodaloo, everybody. See you on Thursday.
Bye, guys.